We live. We live. We live. What's going on, man? Welcome to another episode of Life Game, where we
Life
talk
game.
about life, the game of it, how to play it in certain. We basically take out situations and things that we find intriguing, and find ways where and explain it to you where you can apply those life lessons to your life. So, and as we all on a journey trying to get better every day.
Right.
Got I got Steve here with me. It's STV, as you know him, and also got my uh, longtime friend. I've been knowing him over 20 years. My player partner said, "What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Good to have you, bro. Good to have you." Now we've I sent this guy. I sent the link to you guys in the group chat. Steve, you didn't. You said you didn't watch it, right?
No, I wasn't able to get to it in time.
All right. So basically, there was this behavioral expert, right? His name was John B. Calhoun, and he
Okay.
basically, came up with a study to study rats. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And well, not rats, but study the behavior, right?
Yeah.
Because you know how the white folks here they got they experiment with rats and mice.
Is
I
that all?
I get into why. Well, they fuck with them first, but I get into why at another. There's a whole nother show.
Right.
So, um, basically, what happened is, he set up a mouse utopia. So basically, they had enough space to grow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they had enough food. They had like basically abundance of food, abundance of space, abundance of water, and he
Yeah.
studied how they behave. And so, what I'm going to do is now is just play this clip from Smithsonian
Mm-hmm.
Magazine.com and kind of give the I'm gonna big,
I remember that study. That study was interesting because you'd think you'd think given the ideal conditions, um, that what could possibly go wrong.
And that's one thing I thought when I watched the video. They kept saying that he gave them the perfect conditions, and I was just like, perfect by whose standards? Was it perfect by my standards or perfect by John B. Calhoun standards? So
Mm.
that was what my first thought was, and I was like, maybe that's why the Utopia didn't survive because it was perfect by human standards or John B. Calhoun standards.
Right.
It wasn't necessarily perfect for mice, obviously.
Mm. See, and that's really fascinating because it was interesting. The I was listening to a track. No, it was Jay Z was doing a live performance one time, and he was in one of the lines he was discussing how um, they say that you can't calling black people crabs in a bucket, and he said, well, what about the fact that the natural habitat of crabs was never the bucket to begin with.
Mm.
So you're blaming black people for crab-like mentality in an unnatural environment, an
right.
environment that is been has been that has been a unnatural to how we naturally live and move.
I'll say this, Steve, to that point, like
Mm-hmm.
we as humans live in the most unnatural way to be quote unquote civilized. Like nothing we do is according or in tune with nature, from the way we dress to the drive, the way our fuel is made to just everything. So everything is to take away from nature, just to your point.
Right,
Uh, to
right.
said point, I think the conditions he's referring to is just um what a mice or a rat in these studies what they would consider to drive their life. So given everything that they would everything that they did as a rat or a mice, right? To eat, sleep, to be in that to basically survive. So you give them everything they needed to survive, and then watch their behavior,
I
like
mean,
on a base level.
I hear you, and I
Yeah.
get that. But my thing is, I'm just gonna use the example about the food situation,
Hmm.
right? They had an abundance of food. They can get whatever they want to eat. They gave it to them, right? But then, as a man or as mice, you might lose your purpose, and that drives you something mentally. Now, if a mice and a rat is natural to go out and get their food and hunt and to gather,
Right.
now you're losing your purpose because food is just given to you. So now you're going mad. You don't even want the food that's given to me. I'm gonna start eating the mice next to me now.
Let's watch the study, man. I don't want to give away too much because I want everybody
Okay.
who's watching this to understand. But definitely a good point. Said you're right on the money with that. All right, so let's check it out. Yeah, to the
So
stream.
what you're saying
Work
is the
of Dr.
struggle
John
has to be
Calhoun at the
real.
National Institute of
For
Health
some
in
people, man,
Washington,
it has
D.C.,
to.
has
Yeah.
attempted to answer this question. In a unique experiment that took years to complete, Dr. Calhoun used white mice to study population growth and its effects on individual behavior. In addition to his renowned research papers, he has recorded some of these observations on film. In this 16-cell mouse habitat, utopian conditions of nutrition, comfort, and housing were provided for a potential population of over 3,000 mice. Yet, in spite of ideal conditions, the mouse population met with catastrophe. Individuals were kept track of by color markings on their fur. Factors which normally control population growth, such as predation by owls or cats, were eliminated. Transmissible disease was also reduced. In effect, the mouse universe simulated the present situation of a continually expanding population of humans. To see how Dr. Calhoun's mouse universe grew, we'll use the familiar population graph again. Within the first 100 days, the mice went through the period Dr. Calhoun called strive. This was a period of adjustment. Territories were established, and nests were made. The next period lasted about 250 days. The population of the mice doubled every 60 days. This was called the exploit period. The use of resources became unequal. Although each living unit was identical in structure and opportunities, more food and water was consumed in some areas. As the population increased, most mice associated eating and drinking with the presence of others, and crowding developed in certain units. The third period, consisting of 300 days, found the population of mice leveling off. This was called the equilibrium period. Dr. Calhoun noticed that the newer generations of young were inhibited, since most space was already socially defined. At this time, some unusual behavior became noticeable.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right there. So a lot just happened. They just was glossing over shit. A lot of shit just happened. So
Okay.
first thing is the first gen flourished, right?
Hmm.
They got everything they need. They set up, what I'm saying, they territories, and population just shot up. Then when the population started leveling off, um, there was a lot of socioeconomic things that happened, right? But then when the population started leveling off, the next generation, right? They started to see since everything was already taken up, right? And basically like living in a big ass metropolitan city, no really space to go, whatever. So they started to adjust basically to that type of living style.
Hmm.
So I ain't gonna get too much. No, I'll let it finish. I'll let it play. So if you guys have a point to make anything anytime during this, let me know. I'll stop it, but I'll let it keep around now.
Okay.
Violence became prevalent.
Violence.
Excess males strived for acceptance.
So not enough
Rejected.
females, excess males. So the leftover males were striving for acceptance.
Withdrew. Huddling together, they would exhibit brief flurries of violence among themselves. The effects of violence became increasingly visible. Certain individuals became targets of repeated attack. These individuals would have badly chewed and scarred tails. Other young mice growing into adulthood exhibited an even different type of behavior. Dr. Calhoun called these individuals the beautiful ones. Their time was devoted solely to grooming, eating, and sleeping. They never involved themselves with others, engaged in sex, nor would they fight. All appeared as a beautiful exhibit of the species, with keen, alert eyes and a healthy, well-kept body. These mice, however, could not cope with unusual stimuli. Though they looked inquisitive, they were, in fact, very stupid. Dr. Calhoun called the last period the die phase, leading the population into extinction. Although the mouse utopia could house 3,000, the population began to decline at 2,200. In the shift from the equilibrium to the die phase, each animal became less aware of associates, despite all animals being pushed closer together. Dr. Calhoun concluded that the mice could not effectively deal with the repeated contact of so many individuals. The evidence of violence increased to the point where most individuals had had their tails bitten to some degree. Eventually, the entire mouse population perished. Dr. Calhoun's experiment is a classic example of a typical population and its growth when left unchecked. Research in this area continues under his supervision. Currently, Dr. James Hill has taken the basics of the Calhoun experiment to study social behavior even more closely. In his experiment, rats are used instead of mice. Healthy individuals are selected to start the population. The rats are anesthetized so that Dr. Hill can perform a minor operation necessary to the success of his experiment. A small electromagnetic encapsulated device is implanted into every rat. This small unit enables sensing devices to keep track of the movement and position of each individual in the population.
They're using albino rats in this one.
After surgery, the rats are introduced to their new, multi-leveled home, all at the same time.
Apartment.
The rats immediately begin to explore their new environment, prior to organizing territories and nesting. Dr. Hill will trace how individuals move about in crowded situations. This movement is followed by tubular sensing devices. Every time a rat enters or passes through a tube, the unit detects and registers its presence. This constant movement is monitored by computer. Nesting activity is also studied. Dr. Hill has observed that the larger the population, the less care a mother gives to her nest and young. The same type of individuals that resulted in the mouse utopia are also emerging in the rat population. There are aggressives, asocial, and outcasts. Though these studies use animals, the findings about population growth and individual behavior are being closely compared to our own human population. Like all populations that have existed on this planet, many researchers believe that the human race has reached a crucial point in the exploit phase, a point where important decisions must be made and careful planning implemented if we are to survive. The study of plant.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah. So they trying to say, given the circumstance, we gonna act like rats, man. Basically, it's basically what they saying. Definitely. Y'all may chime in. Waiting for him to log in, but he's watching. So I'll let you go ahead and say it. Yeah, I guess so. I'll let you. What are your thoughts, man? I know you've seen it before and kind of running through it again. And what are your thoughts on this particular experiment?
I mean, it's a lot to unpack, man. I think I keep like I said, I dwell on the whole. It's a perfect utopia because it's just so much that goes into it, man. I mean, because you got to think about how exposure really does affect a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a mice and you're running around in the world and you see a lion, when you go back to your other mouse, you appreciate them. You appreciate seeing the mice now because you just
Yeah.
avoided a lion earlier today. You know what I'm saying? So you don't despise the mice that's next to you, but all you see is the mice, as more mice for 2-3 years straight. Of course you're gonna go crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think that does shine a light on exposure. And you talk about the inner cities and black youth, how they lack the exposure and they ended up turning having traits of the mice. I kind of get it, but it's a deep thing. You start trying to relate it to actual human behavior, but I hate comparing the animal behavior to human behavior because I think
Definitely.
we're just so different. The mind works totally different in human than it does animal. So
I agree. I agree with that part. Say, go ahead. Go ahead and finish your point. I'm
no,
sorry.
man, that's all, man. It's and then like I said, because I have a predetermined notion about where they were going with this study, every time they say something, I'm hearing in my mind them saying, even though they didn't say, I'm hearing in my mind say that I'm hearing them say this is how black people are. Even though they didn't say it, I'm just thinking that's what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I think they're studying themselves. It's
I don't
just
think
me.
so. I don't
I
think
think
they're
they
studying
are. I
themselves.
think
I
they
think
just tried.
they,
They try shit on us first, but I think they study them. When they study albino rats, and because they have similar DNA traits to it, I'm not even gonna go there. But that's definitely a thing. Something we gotta hang on. I'm trying to get. Why is Mac don't see it? Why doesn't he see it,
Steve, what you got, man? What you think?
bro? We sent the link to the group chat, so it's two of them, so you should be able to check the group chat, Mac. Um, Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on that, man. What do you think? I'm going my spiel in a little bit. I can't hear you, bro.
I apologize. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, so I can't. I don't think. I think I agree with Tuck on the idea that the pale faces are indeed studying their own behavior. I think to a certain degree, they're they're trying to discover what their soul is and quantify it. And I know that's a lot, and I don't think that they, I don't,
Yo,
they start with black people as the original example to go by. And they also do it because they rather not harm their own. They rather use, black
use us as
lives.
guinea pigs, but
Right.
they know. Well, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying, DNA wise, by
Mhm.
by the melanated being the first man
Right.
being on Earth, they know
Scientifically
what.
is.
Yeah, is there? If there's anything that works on us,
Mhm.
it'll definitely work on it.
Right.
And so we're definitely the guinea pigs, and given our the way we were kind of created, like in America, like there's no other people like us, you know what I mean, anywhere in the world. So given
Right.
our status here in America, and then how they move, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Hey,
It takes a lot of effort. Takes a lot of effort to decide to take the original being, strip him of his memories, strip him of uh, uh, pump into it a bunch of programming, um, and set up systems to maintain low vibrations on purpose. And
that's
I'm
right.
it's a and then place us and then put us in places that they call projects, which I'm like, okay, a project means is typically meaning that there's a hypothesis of an experiment and a result to be had, you
Of
know,
course. And they got it right.
you know.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah.
But
But
I
let me chime in
said
real quick.
if
Just
you're
about
saying something
the
said you're on mute, I'm just saying you okay. I apologize. I'm just checking. I hear everybody
uh
talk.
the utopia, man. First, that utopia shit, that utopia thing, I'm sorry, that utopia thing, man, that ain't even that's a myth. Like it's some
yeah,
so I'm gonna break it down. Like it was several things going on in like you know how they do it though. So let me say this. They did a good job of mixing in some real good concepts for you to learn from and glaze over with stuff that it just depends on your opinion and your perspective. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Mm,
okay, the utopia. The utopia is a myth. We understand, like, far as the psychology, right? We understand that a person don't thrive in a situation where everything is going great for them, nor do they thrive in a situation where everything is going bad for them. People thrive optimally in like they zone of like proximal development. You know what I'm saying? People to thrive when it's like not too hard to actually accomplish, but not so easy that you feel bored doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's how great athletes remain great. That's how people who are great at things that we consider great as humans do. Okay, so like I don't even think I think trying to have like a utopia in the sense in this sense right here, in the sense where all of your needs are abundantly met. You saw what the people did, and then I'll go into that a little bit later. But I'm gonna end with it right here. Just like how the rats crowded together, it wasn't even overpopulated in a first little enclosure. They just end up creating densely populated areas where they
right.
started fucking each other
They
up
still
at.
had room. Yeah,
Like, and that's an actual issue if you parallel that to human. Like the overpopulation that we see, we really just too densely populated. Everybody want to live in the same damn places too much. So you don't want to spread out and then not fuck up the planet as much and then not make as much trash. Like niggas just want, you want your microwave life. We all do, especially us. We're Americans. So we want exactly what we want. So, but you know what I'm saying? We can't have that utopia. And we got to understand that like when we gathering and as far as the rat, when they gathering and they go to backbiting and all that, and then the beautiful ones, they go up and they basically abstain from all of the stuff that they see. So in a sense, they straight. They are living a quote unquote better existence. But then in another sense, they're guaranteeing that their legacy only survives for their lifetime because they're abstaining from sex as well. So they're not reproducing. They're not procreating for their family, for their legacy moving forward. So they're not creating more beautiful ones. Nobody is learning how to live like this.
right. And
And
hence
that's
their
what end up
stupidness.
happening.
Right. Hence
They
their
get too far
stupidness.
away from the struggle, bro, in real life, bro. Them
Right.
first generation
And
straight.
that's why they didn't
And
learn how to grow. They didn't learn the survival skills because shit, the food right here, the shelter right here, the water over there. What the fuck I'm
that's
gonna go
what I
down there and
mean.
fight with y'all niggas for?
That's why you can't
You know
have
what I'm gonna do?
utopia.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why
And so
that's a
that's how,
myth.
but that's how you get. That's how you get into a place where you work against yourself. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, your needs are met. I mean, your needs are met, but you're not
But see,
actually growing.
all your needs ain't even met because you got to understand that on a deeper level, you
Right at the
need
basement.
you need resistance to a certain degree
That's what I was telling Tuck earlier about
to
how
Yep.
grow.
when they just have abundance of food, some of the rats lost their purpose. Some of their purpose is to go be a hunter and a
It's,
gatherer.
it's food.
So let's take the rats out of it. Let's say that shit, they just say they just a broad scenario. You living in the hood, you got food stamps, you got Section 8, you got a house, you got food, you have no job, you have nothing to do all day but do what? Your mind is the idle mind's the devil's workshop. You have nothing all day but to
You
do
consume
stuff,
more
not but
bullshit.
You're gonna
Yeah.
but
devolve
you
into
have no
debauchery, bro.
exactly. You have nothing but
Become
time to be on
stupid.
that
You
bullshit.
become a
Yep.
beautiful one. There you go.
But see, if you have purpose though, but like I said, once again, that exposure. If you're able to get out that utopia and come back, you appreciate that utopia a whole lot more. But if you're only
Right.
in that utopia 24/7 for 2 years, you don't know what you have. You're gonna start fucking it up. But if you leave every day and come back in and stuff like that, it's a little different. So I guarantee you, those people that made this study knew that they would not have to build a bigger enclosure. They knew eventually these mice would self destruct.
Yes,
They
I
had
agree.
no intention on it building a bigger structure.
And to your point earlier, Steve, that was the whole issue when you looked at how they built the projects. Because you know what I'm saying, that concept been around for a while, public housing. But
Mhm.
as far as the projects, like what we talking about, as far as the high-rise apartment buildings, overcrowded with poor people, you know what I'm saying? We see mostly black people, but they just poor people. It just depend on what color the poor people is, wherever the fuck the project's at, honestly.
Right.
But that concept was created for that. It was created like how Reed just talked about to give them all of these so-called amenities. You basically create this. You create
Right.
this affluent minimum. Like it's some shit that can't exist for real, but you
You get
create it.
base
Like you
level
create this.
level survival shit.
Yeah, it's like a delusional affluency. So I'm gonna give you this check. It's just enough to goddamn, you know what I'm saying, be all right. Like you're not gonna die. And I'm gonna also give you some money to go get food vouchers with, right? And then if you live exactly where I tell you to live, and you live exactly by the rules I give you to live by, I'm gonna only charge you a little bit of that money that I just gave you for your rent and your utility. So you'll mess around and have a couple $100 at least. You'll at least have it. And then on top of it, if you fuck around, keep popping out babies, we can multiply.
But
Because
here's
what
what
they
you
know, like they hit on that with the rats, right? The
yeah,
mama with the large litter, that's mathematics, bro. You ain't got but so much energy as one human.
right to parent the rest of the kids. So
Yeah,
you're
you
not gonna
cannot
nurture all of them.
parent
Yeah, you're not gonna
40
nurture them.
kids, bro. It's
Yeah,
not, you can't
it's
do
impossible.
it.
To your point too about legacy, being in that perpetual getting the government checks and living in the ghetto and being in that perpetual cycle, you don't, to your point, get the legacy because you're never building, you're never growing, you're never getting your own. You're still on their land. You're still living according to their rules on their land. So when you die, ain't nothing, you're passing nothing down. There was nothing, and
Start over.
because you constrained your life to live in this way, you haven't grown.
Start
And
over.
yeah, exactly. And so now your seeds got to reset. They on a reset.
And they're
That's
resetting in the same spot. So
in
they
the
don't
same.
know. But to what said, I already said, you starting off in a place where you don't even understand what's going on.
Mm-mm.
But
You
it
don't
got
even
to
know.
be balanced, bro. So like it just go like that. So they were right about, the society reaches a point where they got to decide what they're gonna do, but it don't go into some crazy ass overpopulation because people gonna keep dying. You know what I'm saying? All these things are gonna keep happening, right? But motherfuckers don't want to accept, like, okay, sometimes you're wrong. Like, far as we gotta have better ways to sustain ourselves, better ways to sustain our living and shit like that. You did what I'm saying? So okay, you do that, and then you got to spread out a little bit more, bro. Like if you really look at us, still even right now in 2021, the vast majority of the people in the country live on the coast, the east and the west coast. Like still in 2021, like it's more people who live in the interior of the country, but it's still more densely populated on the coast because we close to the beach, we close to the waterways. That's money, that's commerce, all of that stuff. So it's certain things that happen. Like think about a city like New York City, bro. It's still one of the most densely populated cities outside of some of them crazy towns in Asia. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the issue be okay. So I just said New York City, and then imagine the concept. The rest of New York State is sparsely populated.
Yeah, sparse.
The same state that literally at one day, the vast
Five
majority of the
boroughs
state.
have about, I want to say 30 to 40% of the state population, if not more.
That's
I,
insane.
I read it somewhere. That's fucking crazy.
Let's just say
Think
it's
about it.
20.
Think about Atlanta and Georgia. What's it? What Atlanta? What percentage of Georgia's population is in Atlanta?
Right.
A lot.
Exactly. But see, that's what I'm saying. We just want to be more densely populated. Like in a parallel, like you want to live with more people, but you also don't recognize like it just be hard to recognize. And I'll say that it's not as hard to recognize as it would be if you could just be left alone. But it's so many things that agitate you in the game. It's so many things that stirring you up. Like if you could just be left alone to really see, I do need balance. Like I do need to, what I'm saying, try to get stronger mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, however you decide you need to get stronger.
I
Then
think
let that lead you into your next thing. If if you did that and people didn't fuck with you and you were successful at being stronger, you would just keep doing that. But it's like we live in places like America where, first of all, nigga, you can be as stupid as you want to be, and it still ain't your fault. Like for real.
yeah.
And
That's
we gonna pay a couple stupid ass niggas just to prove to all the millions and millions of other stupid motherfuckers that hey, being stupid might work. Look at them. But it's an insane like little way that they kind of it's just them just a couple examples. Like my fault. Go ahead, say
Well, let me ask you this
Welcome.
real quick. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I'm just saying, welcome to America, where you can be as stupid as you'd like to be.
big fact.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, talk, and let me ask you this, Steve and Matt. Thinking about people, not just the mice, but thinking about people, and then think about the mice. What would have made that experiment be successful? What could have been done to make that experiment be successful? I want you to think about the
put
projects and ghettos first, about people, and then
Mhm.
think about the actual mice. What would make that? What could have been done so that the mice didn't kill each other after 2, 3 years or whatever?
The experimenters, teaching them the concept, and then teaching them the importance of teaching their offspring the concept.
So education, pretty much. Not books,
Yeah,
not book smart, but teaching, education, teaching
yeah.
about. Okay,
It's gonna break back down to knowledge. It's gonna break back down to access and application of knowledge.
right. I'm thinking of it as from an actual raw animalistic, actual experiment. But as far as like, I guess I would do that, Mac, in a different way. So like when you say teaching, it's like okay, put some kind of system up where for everything that you need to survive in that area, in that utopia or whatever it is, everything that you need to survive, and also the levels how much you get of it is determined of put some kind of work into it. You know what I mean? Build in
Yeah.
some kind of work.
And
Build
that's what
in
I'm
something
saying.
that teaches the rat about itself.
That's how you teach. For example, if you look at this experiment, right, and then we can apply it to people. But say you look at this experiment, the people who are carrying out the experiment, once they see the rats start to congregate, they could literally go in, create partitions, and build little smaller mini families, right? So take it and split it up. Now it's 10 rats in a little cubicle almost. And then inside that cubicle, they could then place food and water at a level in the place where they got to kind of like stack up on each other or do something to make themselves taller than one rat in order to get it. Because then that would teach them how to work
Right.
together. That would give them a chance to struggle, to gain
It'll
food.
show. It'll create a hierarchy within
It'll create a
them. All
hierarchy.
that.
That'll be the experiment of teaching them, like, okay, now this is important. And then opening the doors every so often. So teach them that, okay, it's still a big world. It's still more people all around. There's still more rats all around you. But, now you kind of, but also, let me be fair. Because you know how I think, bro. Like, I really believe in the more traditional tribal way of living, too. So, because that's what you'll end up creating. You will end up creating because these different individual groups of rats will learn how to live amongst each other, work together to achieve certain goals. And then the years, the times of the year or the times of their calendar where it's like a festival or whatever it is that you're gonna open the gates, so to speak, and just let it be just one big space for everybody to congregate, then you can see how they function with that. Do they understand that we got to do different things? We got to move different places. That's where I would start. So what said moving them in the hood. First of all, how about if we go do a human, let's treat the crab in the barrel mentality. Let's leave the crab in the ocean and then teach it from there. Let's not put it in the barrel. So for humans, let's not stack them up on top of each other in motherfucking projects. First, then let's not give away money just because they having babies without a dude in the house. Let's not do that. But let's also encourage them to go and earn money for themselves. Let's not condemn them for goddamn contributing to somebody else's dream by being an employee. And let's not condemn them for deciding to work for their own dream by being an entrepreneur. Let's just help them understand that contributing to society as an individual, contributing to the whole society as an individual is the highest form of service that you can give. And the more honorable that service is, the more efficient that service is, the more profitable that service is, move further, you can move up in the hierarchy of society. If we did that, bro, that would be us as the experimenter creating better situations for ourselves. It's like these are just simple things they do to us, bro. They literally just be like, okay, cool. It ain't but one bag, nigga. It's 1,000 motherfuckers who need $1 million, so to speak. But we got 1 million. Go. That's competition. That's backbiting. At some point, three of us gonna be looking at their bag at the exact same time. Everybody got a family. Everybody trying to go home and eat tonight. Everybody told me they were coming back with their bag.
That's what I was thinking. My solution would be, because they're animals. I don't know how much teaching you can really do, but I would have really just had them earn the food and water. I don't know, put a couple of wheels in there and make them run it, then give them the water. Now, I think, now you're getting into Darwinism because only the strong will survive, but you won't be extinct. You know what I'm saying? In this experiment, everybody died. All the mice died. But if you have them earning, you're gonna have some around because, like you said, the strong will survive, but they would have earned it and they wouldn't got complacent. And I think that's what really happened in this situation is when they didn't earn it and it was just given to them. It was just eventually they were gonna self implode from the inside.
Exactly.
Bro,
And
we get
that's
that
what
lesson
happened
in
to
our
us.
whole body. Your muscles will atrophy if you don't use them.
Yeah.
They'll just fuck up on you. Legit fuck up on you.
It's a long saying, man. If you don't use it, you
You
gonna
don't
lose
lose
it.
it. But like that's for real though. So like even what you said, you could just mix up the test. You can have some wheels in there. You can have some little blocks. So that the dude who can't run, he might can push the blocks. So then, just to combat the Darwinism, so you don't just create that savage ass world of, well, only the big niggas gonna make it, bro. Like, know what to tell you, nigga. Hey, that's just the dark side of only the strong survive. It's like, Hey,
But you talking about mice now? You're not talking about humans. So what else they gonna? It's not like they taking tests. They over here
no,
directing
I'm saying
traffic.
like
They
if you
just making
just
inventions.
no, you can just vary it. If you got a wheel and then you give away the water and the food for the mice who run on the wheel, and then you
Yeah.
place the food at the top of the cage, but then you put some boxes in there that they can like push to climb up to get to the
So you have
food.
an obstacle course. If you do the obstacle course, you can
It's two
get some
different things
food.
now.
And if you
So now the
exercise, you
mice,
can get food.
you know what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
that though.
Cause see, then
I
that we
feel you.
translate to human, bro. It's multiple
You're right.
ways you gonna be able to get to the money. In multiple ways you can be, you know what I'm saying, a upstanding man, upstanding female. You know what I'm saying? In multiple ways to get to these things. So that's what I think. I
Yeah,
just think, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta like it's certain myths, bro. We can't go with. We can't go with that utopia. You can't even want that. It's dangerous, bro. Like you gonna set yourself up for failure because once you get too fat and happy, bro, it's
I think
like
the only
metaphorically, what you
one.
gonna do? You just go
I,
die? You just go fall
is the
over?
thing though, Matt. I think the ones that really have the issue with the utopia are undisciplined, the undisciplined, right? Like if you weren't giving it, what would you be doing?
If you weren't
Trying to
given,
get it. That's what I'm saying. Like if you like for instance, if you weren't given the food, the water, and the shelter,
oh yeah,
you would
you'll be
be
trying to go get it.
really
I see what
trying to
you're
go
saying.
get it.
Yeah, in either or situation.
And
Yeah,
so that
I
was the
feel you.
concept of the whole separate but equal thing
Except now, because you know
back in
you
the
had
day.
you have a part of the population of the people who weren't really trying to go get it. Like fuck it, I don't give no fuck about that food.
No,
That
yeah,
what
but
I'm
they
saying.
weren't trying to live.
That what I'm saying. After a while, bro, you start having people who just they caving in to weird shit, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so simple, bro. It's like it's beautiful how diabolical the thing really is. So
It's
think
crazy.
about how when you tell people it's okay to be stupid, bro, and then you create a ghetto. Like I know it's hard to like think about it like that, but these folk legit made it. Like
Yeah, the whole concept. It was a whole. It came from a nigga
this comes
brain
here,
to
this comes
action.
after like zoning laws. This comes after, you know what I'm saying, sharecropping tenements. This comes after alms houses and all these old other different types of public housing type setup for poor people, right? And I'm not saying that we should not do something to help poor people, right? However, we should always be creating it in a way where those poor people, like shit, they can get on that damn wheel or they can find a box to push to help get that food. You feel me? Like, cause see, when you don't, bro, I'm telling you, it creates too much crazy. If we out here working, right? We don't want to see nobody sitting at the house doing nothing, getting the same amount of money we get, cause they got goddamn 12 kids. You don't want to see it. I don't. I know I don't want to see that, bro. I work hard. Like we all work hard. You do not want to see Shawty just sit at the house and be like, "Fuck yeah, I got." You know what I'm saying? 10,000
Hold on, bro. You sounded like a Republican. Hold
You know
on,
what I'm
John.
saying? Now,
You sounded like
what
somebody
I'm
who
a,
wanna
I'm a
actually get up
non.
off their ass. Hold on, man.
I
What
am
you
not a
mean we can't
politician.
get free food? We can't get no food. What?
Now, listen
What
what I'm
you
telling you.
mean?
It
What
could
you
be a
mean
lot of.
we can't get no TANF? We
It
can't
could be
get
a
goddamn
transition.
unemployment. I mean, we
It
can't
could be
get
a transition to it,
I'm
and
just
it gotta be
saying.
a count to it, realistic count to it.
No, with you though.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, bro. It got to be a realistic count to this stuff. Just because, like we just said, bro, real life with the rat, we see it and we see it every day, bro. We watch ourselves. A lot of us even had to, you know what I'm saying, live in some of these environments, bro. Like you have to watch people just devolve into debauchery, and they not. What I'm trying to say here, bro, a lot of these people don't be horrible people as individuals. They just end up
I'm with
making
you.
series of bad choices that lead them in a situation where they make a worse choice. Like they never learned the concept that one choice gonna multiply. Like they don't learn the law of multiplicity. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you do some shit, you raise your probability of doing that shit.
Yeah, once you open the door, shit. You and what else you might do? That and that's the my is we see with all this shit that's going on in the world,
So
man. So
you
that's how it
know,
is.
you know. Hey, let me ask y'all this since I got everybody on anything, man. What y'all think about it's a couple weeks old now, but what y'all think about the baby situation, man? With the comments at Rolling Loud, man.
Let me go get me something to drink. I'll be right back. I'm gonna let y'all.
All right, what y'all think about that? Reed, I see you over there. I see you over there, Stovall, man. I see you that thing incognito, King Hopper.
So with y'all boy, man.
Man,
Man,
Man.
chilling, man. What's going on, Big Stovey?
man.
Ain't him. Staying out the way.
Big fat. So what y'all think about
You
that
said a
thing,
baby
man?
situation?
Yeah, that baby situation with the comments at Rolling Loud, you know, the whole gay comment, A's and woo woo.
I think he went a little too far with it.
Okay.
But at the same time, he should have his right to say what he want to say. They just make it seem like you can only talk positive about gay people. You can't have no straight rights. It's just only gay rights that matter.
Hey, heterosexual black male is the number one target of America. But anyway,
Amen.
I pretty much agree with Stovall, man. I think he has an opinion, but unfortunately, we live in a world where if it was 10 people at that concert, wouldn't nobody care. But because there was so many people, you kind of got to watch what you say. You offend some people, but we live in America when you can swear you can have your own opinion. But honestly, I know y'all probably gonna disagree though, but yeah, you can't go around saying that stuff, man. Even if that is truly how you feel in America, you can't go around saying that stuff.
No, this is what he did. Keep shit in context. He was he was performing, right?
right?
It's an intermission. Bruh said, what the first thing you said? If you ain't got HIV or AIDS
Yeah,
or
you
something
ain't got
like that,
HIV, you ain't got no ATD,
put your phone up, some shit
do
like
you
that,
goddamn thing.
right?
Yep.
If you were, what did he say about you ain't a nigga sucking dick in the parking lot or some shit he said.
Basically, down low, niggas.
Right.
That shit was a little too specific. First of all, where did that
That
shit
was
come
real.
from?
He synced the nigga.
Yes.
He
You know what I'm
synced the nigga.
saying?
No.
I'm back. I'm right behind you, man. I got the
Hey, he synced the nigga. He synced.
And that shit scarred that nigga, boy. He ain't like that shit.
Hey, he synced
Do what
somebody he
I'm
went to
saying.
hospital with. And he was like, nah, bro, that ain't okay. I'm gonna speak on this.
That shit ain't cool.
Somebody microphone messing up.
Oh my god, bro.
That nigga said, fuck
Okay,
that. We ain't
okay.
finna let that shit slide no more.
This all I'm gonna say. I still agree with you said, and I don't want to because I really be wanting to go hard at we on YouTube, so I ain't gonna say what I like to say. I don't really,
The alphabet community.
I really like to go hard at them alphabet boys and girls, but I do agree that you should have a certain level of decorum, a certain
I
level of
agree with that.
respect, especially on some public shit. Like especially when you out there in the public having a performance. So I agree with that, right? But this is what I say. What I don't like how you can talk about murdering as many black folks you want. You can talk about raping as many women as you want.
Yep.
We ain't gonna stop buying your tickets. You're
What do
not
you
gonna
mean?
stop
You
inviting
talk
to
about having
shows.
unprotected sex, fucking all the black women and
None of that.
leaving them all fucked up.
But
All about
when,
that.
when bro made the mistake, come back and apologize. You gotta continue to backlash.
Yeah.
It like that's what I don't be liking, bro. Like it's like okay, I ain't
But
even
let me
saying
tell you why.
like I get it. Y'all ain't gonna rock with us. Y'all ain't gonna rock with me and my
Ain't
people.
that, bro?
I understand that. But what I'm also saying is why I gotta sway so hard? Like you gotta go and counsel bro almost. Like y'all gotta try to now take bro livelihood from him because he made a comment at one concert. He ain't did this for the last 3-4 years and made a living off of it, and y'all fed up.
Man, they took They took what was it, $8 million out your boy Kevin Hart pocket for a tweet he made 8 years ago.
Bro. And bro had to literally stand on that and let them know he was willing to lose that money. Like,
Yeah.
so don't think about how crazy that is. I got to like just to let you know I'm a heterosexual man and I'm okay with saying what I said. Or, bro, that was a whole nother time in my life. Like, why you telling me about that right now? So with the baby, that's all I was saying. I don't think he had to say that out loud at that particular moment. It do feel like to everybody's point. It do feel like it was so specific he had going on. Like, bro, you mad at the homie, huh?
Some triggered that respond. Like some in his personal life was like,
you saw bro in the parking lot with a bikini top on.
You
He
thought
was
it was a nigga in his crew. He thought 100. It was somebody around.
Exactly.
He thought was yeah. It
And,
was
and
somebody
he
around.
found out it wasn't what he thought it was.
Yeah.
So okay.
Somebody do business.
Yeah, he said if you don't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 to 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up.
Put your lighters up.
He said, ladies, if your poom if your poom poom smell like water, put your cell phone lighter up.
Oh yeah,
Fellas, if you're not sucking dick in the parking lot, specifically, put yourself
like that was
your cell phone lighter up. And I'm like,
and then the crazy part, if y'all heard the clip, it was the DJ in the background saying, "Yeah, a lot of these niggas suspect."
Right. So that's what I'm saying, bro. But to be fair, a lot of these niggas is suspect.
That's what I'm saying. And hip hop is a heterosexual music genre.
But it ain't though.
Listen.
That's the crazy part.
Boondocks.
No,
Boondocks let you know
it ain't. I'll give you that.
And it ain't been for a while. These folk been allowing folk to play with them.
You're right.
These folk been getting DPK.
I'm like, it's been Jamaican, reggae stars that have been blocked from being able to make money in the UK and other places just because they'll make a comment like, Batty Boy, Fire Bundum, and all types of. They're literally specifically.
Yeah, man, you can't do it.
And they
with American money. So
right, like they cut off from certain places just and the thing is that it's been happening for them for a long time.
Yeah,
a lot of them haven't been able to break into that market, and they still stand 10 toes down on what they believe in.
They don't play that.
Bounty Killer was one of them. Buju Banton.
Why would they? So
that's a lot of countries too. Like it'd be funny to me when
they'll kill you. They find out you get in Jamaica.
Yeah. But you get that's what I'm saying. You go to any Arab country or any other, like, brother, they don't mess with we the only ones that's on that.
Bro. Now that's what it is in New America, man. So
now but they also know we the only ones that can get everybody else on.
Oh yeah.
So that's even more reason to spread out with your family. Get your family spread out. So you can be away from these folk, man.
Hey, they ain't saying that about your boy Lil Nas X, whatever his name is.
Oh, they pumping that nigga.
Bro been wild out.
He got a video of naked men in the video.
Yeah, bro. Hey, look, this is what I'm gonna say. Bro firmly is on the side where he at. Like he ain't crossing it for you.
No, it's on you. He ain't Young Thugging it.
No, it's on you, bro.
No, right.
It's on you.
But I think with him, though, man, it's about marketing too.
Right.
Like, when Young Thug first came out, he was on one side and he was just so different. He had to keep pushing different to stay relevant. Lil Nas X know what he's doing right now. Stay relevant, keep his name out there. Now, don't get me wrong, nigga gay as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think he knows what he's doing. Like, come on now. He's telling his managers, his publishers are definitely saying,
they dudes do.
Yeah,
Man, but I mean, he's doing. I mean,
it's making mainstream. That's all.
He just trying to make it mainstream, right? But we all
that's it.
come on, like he doing what
So I'm
flamboyant
like,
gay
okay.
dudes do.
And
Now the
that was
question
what I'm
is,
saying,
I didn't seen some flamboyant, some people pretend to be flamboyant just so that they can break into an industry. For example, like a hairdresser. Like I met a couple of guys who weren't gay but pretended to be gay just so that they could work at a beauty salon and then
I'm gonna
go home to their wives.
I'm
That's
going
weird.
to
Bullshit. That bullshit.
they might,
Yeah, that's
they might,
weird, man.
That
But
bullshit.
I've
Okay, get what?
I've
If
seen,
you want to be a hairdresser, nigga, you be a hairdresser.
they be a
You
hairdresser
can be a straight hairdresser, but you ain't gotta be gay or act gay
to be a
to get in.
hairdresser.
Nah, that
I
is
don't
good.
think you gotta be gay to be a hairdresser. I'm pretty sure. As a matter of
it's
fact,
not so much that I
I know
mean
that my brother also knows how to do hair. He don't do hair, but we done talked about it like because he was like when you
I
go to
think
school.
I gotta.
I think what
do
Steve's trying to say is they do it not to do hair. They do it to get more accepted into the industry. Like the women accept the gay man more than they would straight man because you know what I'm saying. They feel like straight men always trying to holler at them and stuff.
That's the problem. All this straight hate gotta stop, bro.
There you go. Stop straight hate. Nigga. Stop straight hate, man.
at the end of the day, it's all population control. That's all.
That's another
That
thing.
might be what we created.
The whole reason it's getting pushed is just to reduce population. So
Right.
not so much. I mean, there are people that are indeed about that life, and they want more of it. But in actuality, its real purpose is to just reduce our population and reduce the densities in these cities.
Let me say this to your point, Steve. What if the gay agenda they're pushing is this beautiful one's concept, right?
Hey, if I type in this chat, nobody can see this chat but us, right?
The private chat.
Private one, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the YouTube chat, the one that's on our StreamYard screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, it say private chat.
right. You got comments, and then you got private chat.
Yeah, that one I just put some letters in, right?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else see that one, right?
No, everybody else.
You good?
Nah, but yeah, man. I'm with you on that.
This is an awesome show.
The population
Hey,
control.
I'm running ass on this one, definitely.
If you ain't sucking D in the parking lot, put yourself up.
That was just wild, bro. I was like, whoa.
They're real specific.
That had to be
And
personal.
then honestly, if I want
home.
to talk about facts, you don't die from AIDS in 2 to 3 weeks. So, but honestly, you're factually wrong also.
Yeah, you like
that's
weird.
definitely a
What
fact.
I'm saying is it came across like I get that you trying to get the crowd hype and all that, right? That was a weird couple phrases for you to just think about, for you to have on your mind right then to say out loud or to practice, because that might be even worse. What if this is how you practice? What if this is your intermission in your show? That's even weirder. Like, why is this what you talking about? Out of all the stuff
That's
you
why I
can say,
think it was emotional though, because he's an emotional dude. Like I've watched, you know what I'm saying? Just if you watch everything, all the controversy with him even before this shit, and just how he moved. I watched some just this, did a little homework on it because we were gonna talk about it.
right?
And he's a very impulsive dude.
Oh yeah, but bro used to be a boxer growing up, so like he feel a little bit more. He feel more confident than a regular person.
Right.
I was kind of mad at him for not just being smarter about it. Like you gotta know your audience. You gotta know your audience and what you're saying. Like stove off.
That's what I'm saying.
To your football players, you might say, "Stop being fucking sissies." But if their parents around, you ain't finna say that shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be cautious about your audience and who's around you when you say certain things, man. And plus, you worth millions. You got to be a little bit smart. You know it's stuff that you can't say on stage that we can say on this live stream right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know that. You got to be smarter than that, man.
Unless you don't care about your money.
You're right. Unless you don't care about your money.
Right.
But we know who controls.
You ain't got to promote nothing, but You know, be careful of the hand that's so called feeding you.
But here's
That's
the
a lot.
thing, though.
You have to
To
promote it.
here's the thing, said to your point. Yeah, you got to know your audience, but shit, the audience was cheering. He knew his audience. It
His
wasn't
audience
the
was the
audience.
world,
It
bro.
was.
Nah,
It's
see,
2021. His audience was the world, man.
I got.
His
I got what
audience
you're
is
saying
on
on that. Like
YouTube.
you got to be definitely.
you got to be aware, bro.
Way
You got to be
aware
aware.
on that.
Yeah,
Like he got to
you gotta
know he
be aware.
being recorded. But
See,
to
that what
the
happened.
point,
He
man, it's
tried.
like
You know, it's a gay dude that was on the side of the stage that recorded it and sent that shit out to the public.
But see, think about this.
It wasn't a crowd.
Right after it came out. You remember he tried to double down, like basically I said what I said type. And see, then once they started hitting him for that paper, once they start, oh, you're not on this show. Oh, you're not gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna go to this gig. Then he like, oh, well, let me try to come around and we're like, okay. Now,
now we ain't gonna take that shit. They ain't genuine. See that what they going. That how they got him. But
and
see,
that's why they keep coming out of now.
right. And see, that's why I said to your point to earlier, bro. Like he's very impulsive because only that way of thinking will let him be like, hold on, I'm getting all this heat from this. What the fuck is the heat? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what really going on from this. No, this nigga like fuck that. Nigga, I said what I said. Nigga, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Well, I am.
How you handle big business, man?
I'm reading the article in Billboard.com, and he basically says that he's like it wasn't so much. He's like, my gay fans, they take care of themselves. They ain't no nasty gay, in words. They see what I'm saying. They ain't no junkies in the street. The hell you talking about? Then I said, if you ain't sucking D in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up. You know what my gay fans did? They put that motherfucker up. And you know why? Because my gay fans ain't going for that. They got class. They ain't sucking D in no parking lot.
So the whole problem is that he don't have a good publicist because they shouldn't even let him come out. They shouldn't even let him talk.
He got the wrong people.
What he's saying is that they ain't crackhead. They got more class.
They do it in the car.
They ain't sucking dick.
Yeah, they don't
when Whitney said, I don't do crack, I do cocaine. She fucked that up for everybody. That is now not the right statement. The right statement is not, I got clean gays. I don't got them dirty gays with me.
We ain't got them gays, did Oh my god.
I got a gay best friend and he
I
clean.
got some dope on that.
Yeah, he ain't got no publicists and nobody around him. But he
ain't got nobody, man. They just
right.
That was terrible. That was the worst reaction.
That was worse than exactly, Reed. That was worse than the first statement.
That way worse.
They got class.
That one.
They got
and I'm trying to teach my kids this lesson right now that your reaction to a situation is 90% of what's going to happen from that situation in the actual action. Yeah, the reaction to whatever's going on is worse than the actual action 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
How you react to stuff.
How you react to it.
I think it was brilliant. He told them that he's like, listen, my fans got class. they suck.
Not the gay fans. I got a clean gays. I ain't talking about the dirty. I'm talking about dirty gays.
You do all that gay stuff in the hotel. Like what? Are you
I
talking
got
about
classy gay fans? I'm talking about the dirty gays.
They ain't sucking dick for burgers,
I'm gonna get at y'all, fellas.
Let them gay folk keep their gay stuff tucked in their gay folder, man.
Oh my god.
Just
I'm gonna get at y'all, fellas. I'll get at y'all next time, man.
I appreciate it, Stan, man. Love you, bro.
Peace and blessings.
Hey, bro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, Steve, did you get a chance to watch that movie, Steve?
No, man, but I'm gonna check it out tonight.
Check it out, bro.
You gotta watch that shit. You gotta watch it.
She hate me.
Yes.
That sound familiar. That sound like Is that the one where that dude ended up being like a literal sperm donor for a living?
Yeah.
I saw that on a bootleg like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it
And
came
I'm
out
That's
about
the
that.
like,
last time they had bootleg.
Yeah, sound about right.
Because when I
bruh,
saw the movie, I was like, damn, this is how 2000 movie used to look. Like,
bro.
that's crazy. It's crazy how like the movie be looking different from different eras. Like
Right.
movie from the 90s. Now you'll be
Yeah.
looking at the movie like this shit definitely look like a cartoon. Like it almost look like you're not watching a movie.
Oh, it's a straight up
Low quality,
caricature.
nigga. And then the crazy part is to see the old movies that they done redigitized, and the shit look like it clear, but it
Yeah.
ain't. But it is
It ain't
though. But
though.
it ain't.
It clear blurred. It clear blurred.
I gotta
It
see.
is, bro.
I ain't seen that movie in years, but I definitely dreamed about being inspired by it. I'm like, he's doing it wrong. If I was doing it, man.
Shit, I seen that at 04, nigga. I was 20. Shit. I would have been like, sign me up.
Right.
But he ain't
That's when I seen it.
Y'all got it.
When I was in college. That's when I seen it.
Y'all got it. Y'all have I thought it, baby, man.
Man.
Hey man, that when you were
Hey.
19, 20, 10,000 a pop.
Boy,
I met a couple of cats in their age that got 12, 13 kids. They call themselves breeders. That's
Hey.
like this. That's how they refer to themselves. Like they.
And I don't want to be no breeder. I'm good on that one.
Yeah.
I be some other shit.
We know of a couple.
You know what I'm saying? I'm cool.
I'm like, they don't pull out a shit but a driveway.
Like, nigga, you dang. You fucking coach up.
That nigga
You know what I'm
look
saying?
like-
Somebody got to keep your babies up, nigga. We tripping.
Right,
Hey,
right.
bro, I definitely want to get into this Auburn and Peach thing.
Okay.
Fresh and Fit. The beef.
Oh,
They're gonna be the next show, but I want y'all to dig into it, man, because it's a lot of layers to it, and it's a lot of shit we can unpack as far as life game, because it's so much. It's like I said, it's a lot of shit we can unpack, bro. It's so much. It's just so much, man.
Who are those
All
people? I ain't looked there yet.
that's the mom. It's the podcast people on YouTube.
It's some
And they
YouTubers,
beefing?
man.
Yeah,
You say they beefing?
Yeah, they slit beef. Nah, they ain't even slit beef. They beef.
They beef.
It ain't slit.
Nah, them nigga beef.
They
Well,
beef.
not now. Maybe I heard that
Hey,
they
bro,
broke out of
When bro screamed in the camera and was like, "We better than you niggas. We better than you niggas." I was like, "Bro, you need a hug. You need a hug, bro." Like,
Well, the crazy part for me was the guys, Abram and Preacher. We're gonna get into it, but just to give you a little backstory, they were on the Fresh and Fit podcast about 3-4 months.
that's what I'm watching. I'm watching that episode. That's what I was watching earlier today.
Right. And they disagreed on the podcast, had a good, a hashing out of some shit, right? And they were cool after that, just like how men do, right? Then Auburn Preach made a review video about that video, because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They talk, they give videos and they break the shit down or whatever. So
Okay.
they break it down. They own video from when they were on Fresh and Fit
From the podcast.
and they were being, I ain't gonna lie, they were being a little disrespectful.
Okay.
Who would be in disrespect?
So that's the one I need to see. After I see their podcast, I need to find that video, their first video on.
That started the whole shit.
Yeah.
That video started the beef or whatever.
Okay.
And then a side note to that, so by them seeing like a lot of people, so by them growing so fast, Fresh and Fit, bro, like in a year, they like the #1 podcast. And been holding that title probably for like the last 3, 4, 5 months, right? So then you grow so fast, and when you have beef with another channel that's just as big as you or that has a strong following, people see that as weakness, right? So then another dude who used to work with them started shooting shots with Fresh and Fit.
Okay.
And the other couple days ago, he came up there like on some old recording, like him and another nigga came up to their podcast, and was just like, matter of fact, I'll pull the
He
shit up.
came up to preach podcast.
Nah, they came up to Fresh and Fit, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna watch. I'm about to get ready to cut off too, so I can
Go ahead, bro.
get
I'll
this
shoot you the
thing.
link.
Shoot me the link to that because I'm finna watch it. I'm finna watching the podcast that they all on together because I started that earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna watch that first video because I saw the second video that they made.
You seen the retaliation?
Yeah, against whatever Fresh and Fit said about after they made their first video reviewing the damn shit. So really,
and the reason we I'm just letting everybody know the reason we gonna get into it. We ain't not on no drama or no beef shit. We ain't
that's what I was about to say. Really, like, cause the umbrella to the whole thing is, so you already know how I be saying, bro. Like,
yeah, bro.
At the end of the day, we all men, so why we ain't
out here like that? And so that was the initial point of Fresh and Fit to like, damn nigga, you got my number. You could have called me, however you know what I'm saying. But you decided to go online, create views, and try to make a nigga look bad.
Yeah,
do you believe it's fake beef or is it real?
Nah, these nigga real beef. Like it's a nigga named Allende or whatever the fuck his name is. Nigga came up. I'd be surprised. Yeah, I'd be surprised. Like man, I'd be surprised if it was fake.
Okay, yeah, that'd be even lamer.
Yeah, like that'll really end both of them niggas. Both of them. Like for real. My nigga, what? Man, get out my motherfucking spread.
Right.
I wanted to tell the audience we want to discuss this in terms of another, like effect of how hard it is for black men to work together in America, given the construct. And given the mentality we've been bred to have. So
and bro, just remembering like they decided to try to compete with each other. They ain't have to compete. They didn't have to engage in competition. They all chilling. Sometimes it's hard to remember that. Sometimes it's hard to remember that they're already chilling.
Yeah. And see, that's what I think. Like somebody, I don't know. I think something happened or something happened in the time between them getting on the podcast with them and then them making that first video.
Okay.
So whatever that is, I think us as men, like whether you get more information, I know what it is. But I ain't gonna get into it till Thursday.
This ain't as petty as this being over a woman, is it?
No. This is a personal stance.
That ain't even player.
Yeah, that ain't even player, to be honest.
But for men, boy, it gonna be by money or a female. It's gonna always break back down to one or both of them things.
That's why I'm like, hey, 50,
always.
So and then in this case, females are involved and money is involved. So you can take it how you want to.
Money. But you know what? It's funny because I think I watched one. I've only was able to glance at O'Shea Duke Jackson's breakdown of just a piece of it, which was something along the lines of the character of Fresh and Fit, where like these cats is like doing the whole payola thing in order to get on their show, but the payola is made with pussy dollars.
And see, that's what he was insinuating. And so I was like, damn, they like that. But
they said that, and bro put the DM up on the thing.
Yeah. He put the DM up. Here's the thing. Them niggas, like, I'll put it like this. Like, them niggas lame to me, right?
That's super.
I'm just be real. Like,
if
they ain't type of niggas I roll with, hang out with, and no shit like that, right? You feel me? These some monkey ass niggas
in the mall.
Cool. Now, I'm just saying. I'm just being real, bro. You know what I'm saying? But in that same effect, like I know what them niggas like. I can understand basically both sides. I don't want to get too much into it because we can go on, keep going, but I just understand both sides of it, and I think that the shit could have ain't have to go that far. Of course, shit don't never have to go, you know what I'm saying? But I think um when you approach, when you have so many factors and you got an audience, you got an audience over here, and then you got this audience over here, and then you got all these outside pressures, right? Then you got somebody gassing you over here, you sending you this, and then you got somebody over, you understand what I'm saying? Like you got, and then nobody really holler at each other. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit, like, hey, bro, did what, you know what I mean? And it could be because they not really homeboys, which I could see that. They not really friends. They were just working together, right? Cool.
Right.
So if you get some information about somebody, right, that y'all really ain't cool, but you just worked with them a couple times, right? You use that, and then you go. I don't want to get into it, bro. I just basically,
We'll talk
though,
about it Thursday, bro.
we'll talk about it Thursday, bro. I don't want to.
Right.
They go. They just went about the way you take the information. I ain't saying that their stance is wrong, right? For what they standing for. I believe that you can go about checking a nigga another way. You feel
It
me?
wasn't what they were doing, it was how they did it at a particular time.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
that
you can go a different way about checking a nigga, about some
Fact.
shit you don't like about a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you ain't even gotta holler at, you ain't even gotta speak on it. If you don't fuck with him, why speak on it?
If we're not partners, you can keep your opinion.
Exactly.
Yep.
So then, but then you
Straight up.
showing yourself. Where do you see that first video, bro? I was like, what?
Yeah, I got to see it. All right, man. I'm gonna tap out, man.
That
Y'all
was the
be
wild
straight.
part. And then them niggas being the lame niggas
All right,
they wild back. And so
You safe, man.
We better than you. We better than you, nigga. I was like, bro,
what?
I was thinking to myself, I was like, boy, these boys need too many hugs, man, for real. Like, y'all need too much attention and affection from the cold world that's out here.
Another note though, bro.
And to keep in mind,
another reason I
keep in
started
mind that there.
that nigga came clean. He was a fed. But
Who?
His nigga profession fit. But his prior job was he was a federal investigator.
Who?
The nigga profession fit. The Myra nigga, the nigga going ball.
He looked like old fed. That's old.
Ass nigga, don't he? Yes.
Probably what they started being.
Yes.
That's why he think he better than him. He needs to be. He been lame his whole life. That's why he forcing himself.
Why them nigga act like this is how. Matter of fact, profession fit is an example of how lame niggas act when they get money.
Bill Cosby didn't do it. You the real Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby didn't do it. Rick Ross didn't do it. Me one, nigga, I never be me too.
I never be me too. And that's been life game, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We out.
Peace.